What up, Capricorn family? How are you guys doing? Welcome to my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. Hope this message finds you all well. We are here to do your December into January love tarot spreads. Everybody loves love. This just popped out for you. It's called Here and Now. Focusing on the moment, living in the now. I'm going to read from the book on this, but first I'm going to shuffle your cards through as I go through my tarot rules as usual. Here on YouTube, general messages is what I spin out for you guys. That means not everything I say will resonate with you. I can just about guarantee you that. Pieces and parts of this very likely will. I hope lots and lots of it does. My goal is to give you messages that inspire you, motivate you, enlighten you in some way, and yeah, ultimately bring you some sense of excitement to go after what it is that you're looking for. So be that love or something in career. Yeah, positivity is what I'm trying to spin out. So take only what resonates. If something feels foreign or doesn't fit your circumstance or scenario, you don't need to take on that energy. You can release it. You can drop it like it's hot. I always invite my Capricorns and every other sign to come into this with an open heart and an open mind, because messages will sometimes resonate for you in a few hours, in a few days, in a few weeks. So if that's the case, congratulations. It was your message. Take it and run with it. What else do you need to know? Everything else is written in the description box below, including the decks I'm using here today. As well as my social media. Check me out on the Intuitive Teacup on Facebook and Instagram if you are into that. Drop a like, share, subscribe wherever you can, including on this video. That helps this channel gain traction and gets those messages out to those who want to hear them and who need to hear them. And other than that, thank you all so much for joining me. I hit 1,000 subscribers on my channel, which is like amazing. Christmas came early for this girl. So yeah, for all of those who've been with me on this ride so far since I started in April, thank you. I really, really appreciate you all. I have some amazing Capricorn friends. Got mad love for the Capricorns out there. And happy holidays, happy Sagittarius season, happy soon-to-be Capricorn season, and most importantly, let us not forget, happy early birthday to all the Capricorns out there. So let's hop in. We're going to start with this card, and then from there we're going to jump into your reading. So if you're not interested, I would advance maybe a minute or two. So this is card number 32. The number 32 might mean something to someone. That could be someone's age. That could be, I don't know, 5, the Hierophant, something with a Taurus maybe. I'm going to stop yakking. 32, relationship message. It's easy to yearn for a love affair or friendship you may not have right now. One that is more romantic, more fun, more reliable, more passionate. The good old days are gone and a new day has dawned. Let your heart trust that you have everything you need right now, whether you have a relationship you desire or not. Tomorrow is beyond your reach. Yesterday cannot return. The now is all that is available to you. Stay present and aware that in this moment, as you cherish and approve of your beautiful self, you are a magnet for love. Spirit is madly in love with you right now. Did you know that? Turn to spirit to feel joy, turn to spirit to feel the joy and love in the here and now. So that is what this card is indicating is important to my Capricorns out there. Again, December into January. And something about the end of the new year, it's like a cycle being closed out and then restarted. The idea of an egg, like rebirth and creation. Yeah, there's definitely some metaphors in there. So we will keep that in mind as we proceed with your reading here. If you don't currently have a person in love, this could be someone from your past. It could be someone coming in your future. It could also be a family or friend dynamic if it's not romantic. Capricorn, your energy, 3 minutes in. Good Lord. You have the Hierophant. All right, so we literally just said that with the 3 and the 2. Card of the Hierophant is card number 5. It's the spiritual leader. It's sometimes the priest, the pope, someone who is communicating message to a larger group. So if it doesn't have a connotation of spirituality, it's someone who just simply is a leader. And I feel like you guys actually get this card quite a bit. So some of you may be in leadership roles at work, or even in like a family dynamic. It could be like the main breadwinner, or again, like center of attention, the center focus. Unlocking major doors in your spiritual path. The underlying energy is interesting, death. Some of you are unlocking the heart of a Scorpio, because this is the card of Scorpio. But other than that, again, death is a great card. It shouldn't freak people out. If you're unfamiliar with tarot, death usually has to do with closing out cycles that are done. We just don't need to exist in that energy anymore. We don't need to exist in that space or with that person. It's like the closing of a chapter and then starting a new one. So I get excited when the death card comes up, but I know it does have a darker connotation for some people. So Yeah, underlying energy is major change and transformation. You may have gone through something like almost like what I'm getting is sort of like a tower moment, but it's less severe than the tower moment. When that comes in, it's life changing, it's earth shattering, it changes everything. Something like that happened, but on a much smaller level, to a much smaller degree. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something bad, because again, with the tower coming after the devil, which is your card actually, Capricorn, that indicates there is a period of being stuck where spiritual growth and development isn't happening for someone. So universe ushers in the tower to transform and change us by force, essentially. Like we have no say in it. This seems like something that you guys actually did yourself. You recognized that there was something that you could finally put to rest. You could finally, finish up the project, close out a relationship, whatever it is. And something about, it's like that key you've earned to unlock the next door. I've been getting a lot of metaphors this month about, like, this is such a silly metaphor, but it just keeps coming up. The idea of a video game, you complete a level, you gain the star, and then you're on to the next one, like Mario Kart, or, Luigi and Mario, you're going through all those cute little images and scenery, and then, you gain a star. That's sort of what this feels like. It's like, especially like we think of keys of like knowledge, right? The door to knowledge or whatever, the pathway to knowledge, closing out something. And yeah, it progressed some of my Capricorns forward, specifically in terms of being able to finally communicate something that you always wanted to say, or again, putting you in some sort of leadership position where you're preaching to a group. And I don't necessarily mean spiritual religious teachings, though for some of you that might be. But yeah, some sort of position where you're talking to a group of people, or again, a power position of some kind. Let's clarify it with this cute little Kawaii Tarot deck. Let's first ask, what is this death about? What is the underlying energy for death? Why are we looking at that? If you felt like you weren't being seen, like you were... interesting, sort of like a metaphor of being like a wallflower, not wanting to break away from the pack or step out on your own or take that sort of risk, maybe an emotional risk of some kind, and really put yourself out there potentially for, praise and criticism. It seems like some of you stepped away and took that risk, and it was rewarded quite well, or it was received well by the group. Your ideas, or what you're preaching, again in metaphor, it's landing, it's catching an audience. It's something about, like, it's lightning in a bottle. Especially if you've recently been hired by a job or by a new employer or something like that. It seems like they're like, whoa, Capricorn. Like they're impressed with your contribution. So some of you may have been receiving recognition or or like a pat on the back, some sort of like recognition of your hard work and efforts. And well, that doesn't surprise me at all, Capricorn. You guys are very hard workers. You guys are like the worker bees of the zodiac. This is not coming out. What is this death card about for Capricorn? Okay, now they come out. Interesting. So 8 of Swords, yeah, staying mentally stuck, needing to break away from a mental prison of false beliefs, right? That's typically what this is. So again, the idea of you're a wallflower, or you don't stand out from the pack, or it's I don't know if it's lacking confidence or something, but you were able to break away from that headspace that told you couldn't, and finally realize you can, and you can, like, with flying colors, with success, right? Yeah, again, 7, an emotional risk of some kind. 7 of Cups specifically, it's an emotional decision. And it sometimes involves some sort of a risk. Is it an illusion? Is it a dream? Is it a fantasy? Or could it be a tangible reality of something that's going to bring you joy, right? And then the 2 of Pentacles reversed. So 2 of Pentacles is one of your cards, Capricorn. It's frequently the juggler. The idea of any 2 in tarot is about decision making. So a decision that you had been struggling with for quite some time, the idea of bouncing it back and forth in your head, coming up with reasons why you can't or why you shouldn't, or the potential risks of how it could break your heart or hurt you or disappoint you, cause you pain, put you in an awkward position with a friend or coworker or romantic partner. It seems like you did move forward on the decision. You finally chose one path or another, or you chose to collaborate with 2, or you chose to have some more involvement than you did in the beginning. And again, it's unlocking doors for you. It's pretty good energy. So I know you're all asking, what does that have to do with love? Let's find out. Let's throw some romance angels on this. So what is Capricorn's energy December into January regarding love? If you were having sort of, or you were at like a standstill with your partner, if you have a current partner, and again, maybe you weren't speaking your truth, you were defensive, you know, with the cross, right? The crossed words, cross communication. You were resisting some sort of like emotional offer to your partner because you were, maybe you were worried they weren't going to take it or it wasn't going to land. Again, that kind of makes sense. It's like you decided to step away and take that sort of risk, and now it's like you're speaking your truth, right? Like crowing, literally, right? It makes me think of Peter Pan, that song, I Got a Crow. I got a crow. Now I just want to sing that song because I feel like there's an important message in that. Just the cleverest fellow it was ever my fortune to know. Yeah, I'm just the cleverest fella 'twas ever my fortune to know. Something about good fortune when you speak your mind, when you speak your truth. I can climb trees and play tag with the breeze and the flowers below, or something like that. I got a crow. Spending time in nature, that might be important for some of you. I don't know. I get random messages through songs. I'm not sure if that means something to someone, but maybe the name Peter does, or somebody in Peter Pan. Michael, Wendy. What was the other one? John? I don't know. Let's see. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Okay. I think that has to do with not moving forward on something. It's a very interesting message I'm getting. It's almost like you were over, and again, this is very specific to this reading. Something about you were overanalyzing the red flags, or it's not even the red flags, you were overanalyzing the outcomes of what could be. And yes, some of those outcomes, that's what this is, multiple options here, right? Some of those outcomes could have been potentially very disappointing or disheartening or affect your money flow, right? There was a whole bunch of reasons why you were delaying this important choice. And again, potentially has to do with career and money, your home, your health, your body. It could also be a romantic partnership. You were very critical in the analysis of everything that could be, but ultimately, again, I was using the word standstill. You had to move forward, and I just keep getting, you had to speak your truth. And it may have had to do with convincing somebody of something, especially because it is like the preacher. It's like he's wanting to get everybody on board with the word of God and how to do this and that. And again, in metaphor, whatever you were like preaching to the group, preaching to the choir, that expression, it's like you were trying to get them on board with your ideas. And the thing is, I think you do. And it may have had to do with the old way of doing something versus the new way. You would have been ushering in the new way, making significant changes. And again, closing out old cycles that, if this is all in metaphor for your company or your job, it was like old ways of doing things that weren't progressing people forward. It wasn't helping to provide the tools that people needed to advance their career. Or do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going to throw one more on this because again, it's a little bit foggy in terms of how this lies for love, but the Hierophant can also be the Pope. So someone, I was going to say conducting a marriage, officiating a marriage. Is that the right term? With a Scorpio for if that's a very specific message, but for those involved with either a Taurus, another earth sign, or a Scorpio, you may have marriage on the brain. And again, closing out an old cycle into a new, the idea of circles and cycles, again, sort of the egg, pregnancy as well as weddings might be on your minds. Specifically in love, what is Capricorn's energy December into January? Temperance. Well, you got the Angel of Love. Michael, the Angel of Love. Have you guys seen that movie with John Travolta? I love that movie. It's so good. All right, so yeah, this is the card of Temperance. It's a card of Sagittarius, depicting clearly one of the angels who passes the cup back and forth. And it does talk about healing, right? The healing waters, keeping one foot in the pool of intuition and one firmly planted on the ground. That's you, Capricorn, right? So being quite logical, right? Being quite steady in how you proceed forward, but also, dreaming a little bit. And that makes sense that the Seven of Cups is coming up. Dreaming of the future, of love, of romance. But making sure that that you're taken care of, specifically your body. If those of you have like just feel like you're out of shape or not eating right or this or that, there's an attention excuse me, there's an attention put or being put back on yourself. And again, it's to promote this new path you're headed down, to make sure like you're in like the best possible like physical condition you can be in. Maybe some of you are like training for a marathon or something like that, and it doesn't have to be that extreme, but yeah, that's coming up here too. So yeah, I mean, I don't question that a lot of you have love on the brain, because you're watching this, but you got the Love Angel. It's a great card. Yeah, it talks about moderation too. Again, not rushing into anything immediately, taking your time. And that's what I was getting with this too. I kept saying the term wallflower. It's like it slowly develops. Again, seeds to flowers, acorns to oak trees. It's earth energy. It happens gradually over time. Yeah, the way a child develops, right, in the womb, or how a chicken hatches from the egg. You can't rush nature. This is all going to fall into place when it is supposed to. But I will say, especially in Sagittarius season, and that's why this card is coming up, actually, that makes sense. It has to do with you taking action on whatever it is you want to accomplish, whatever it is you want to manifest, whatever it is you want to achieve. Sagittarius this season calls for action. It's wand energy, it's fire, it's motivation, it's energy. So this indecision, or again, all these little red flags of, well, if I make this decision, all the things that could happen, make a decision. Because one way or another, even if it isn't the result which you were hoping for or intended for, there's going to be really valuable lessons in it, right? Lessons that at minimum are going to liberate you from like the stress of not knowing the outcome. I hope that makes sense. All right, so let's peek at your person. Let's see where they are at. And again, this card is all about living in the now, right? Not focusing too far into the future, because ultimately that's where this fear and anxiety is coming from. It's like projecting of how will this conversation go? What will that person say? How will people view me? How will I be criticized or praised? This is about living in the moment. Just do it. Sagittarians are fire signs, right? They do it because they feel it in their gut. Knight of Wands energy. If it's not fun, they're piecing out of there, right? So yeah, if some of you have been in a state where it's like, the expiration time has come due, it's time to move forward, this is indicating now is the time, right? Before your big birthday season, maybe it's time for some significant changes, some emotional risks, choosing something or someone. All right, looking into your person, Capricorn. They are coming up as the Empress. Beautiful. All right, I love that. So Mother Earth, creation. Sorry, guys, my camera froze. So your person coming up is the Empress, Mother Earth. It is Taurus as well as Libra energy, if that means anything to anyone. And you did have double Taurus here, so at minimum, we have a nice balance of that, like, lovely Earth energy. The Hierophant can... I don't know why, but I'm sort of getting like father vibes, father and mother. So again, for some of you thinking about like, like fertility or pregnancy, something like that, the egg, that might be symbolic for those at least thinking about maybe starting a family or adding another one to the mix. It's divine feminine energy, even if your person is masculine or feminine. It's like at least December into January, their energy is very sensitive, very receptive, very warm. It's not overly like aggressive, and in the way that you're being driven to go forward, motivated by like kind of that fiery energy, they're more settled into that like earthy energy that's coming towards us in Capricorn season. So yeah, for those with a female, there's a chance of like conception or fertility specifically in Capricorn season. So their underlying energy is the Knight of Swords, so a card of Gemini, also Libra, Aquarius. We have that Gemini full moon coming up in a couple days, which is all about being very careful with our word and how we communicate things to our partner, to our coworkers, to whoever that is. And yeah, I am sensing something about some sort of dread about an offer or something that needs to be communicated that either is going to affect a relationship or money. Maybe both, right? Maybe, hey, let's move in together, or hey, let's separate, right? It could be a lot of different things, but... So underlying energy is someone who needs to communicate something, but they've gone cold. Or someone who maybe isn't returning your calls, or isn't returning your texts, or someone who is keeping you like at arm's length, or just, you keep bringing up the same thing and they kind of dance around it. They never give you a clear answer. It's because they're afraid to tell you the truth. they're afraid to tell you the truth because it's going to impact the way this relationship is going to grow and blossom. And I'm not necessarily getting a bad thing, but I'll be super honest. I have to say it if I see it. It does feel like they have a secret. And I'm not saying they're cheating on you. I'm not giving anything like that. I'm just saying there's something they haven't been upfront with you about. So we'll throw some clarifiers on it and see. But the thing is, there's some sort of like emotional like wall up between you guys. This person feels iced out, or they feel like they've been cut off or left out in some capacity. And it may have to do with the idea if you have ascended higher up again among the group, if you're standing out, they kind of feel left out. Like they're being shortchanged, or they're not being recognized. Or even at work, if you got a promotion and now you're the sole breadwinner or making more, there may just be kind of like some awkward feelings about it. Their energy is really beautiful, though, and strong. I'll throw some clarifiers on it, but initially I didn't get the impression of, oh, like red flag for this person, which is ironic because you did get the red flag card, didn't you? But yeah, I'll throw some clarifiers on it. I don't want to speak too soon. Let's do some Rider-Waite. Tell me more about Capricorn's person. Why are they presenting as the Empress? The Empress is frequently very creative. Could also be a Cancer if it's not a Taurus or a Libra. Or a Gemini, as we said. This person thinks about you at night, especially if you're not together, if you're not sleeping under the same roof. Why is the Empress coming up? Tell me about Capricorn's person. I feel like I just called you Libra, did I? Yeah, they need to express something. They need to come forward with their truth. They have very important news to share. Oh, okay. So for some, right, they might be delivering the news that they're pregnant. With the Empress and like the secret and the important communication, that might be for, I don't want to say a lot of you, but if any of this is resonating, yeah, that's definitely coming through here. And it can go vice versa too. If you didn't so much relate to this, difficult decision that put you in some sort of power position or whatever, that could also be your person. Sometimes it's flipped around, but yeah, that's sort of what I'm getting here. There's news of pregnancy or something in the family dynamic. We think of the idea of like a family tree. This person could have been cut off from their inheritance, or just have been cut off by like someone in the family. There's definitely like a little bit of sorrow and unsettled feelings here, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that they haven't come through and communicated something to you, Capricorn. You have the Death card again. So again, potentially a Scorpio in your life, or something that just finally needs to be put to rest. Something that this person has been carrying with them, like again, a secret for a while now. It's like it finally needs to come out in the open. It may have been something that they danced around, or you guys danced around this subject or this topic in Scorpio season, but we're in Sagittarius season now where we're supposed to move forward with what we released, and it seems like there's delay here. The Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, it may have to do with money. Yeah, for a lot of you, they may have lost their job, or had some sort of cut in their paycheck, or they didn't get the Christmas bonus or something like that. There's been like delays in the money flow of things, and it's something that they're either like ashamed or embarrassed about. I'm getting a lot of different messages, and that does sometimes happen in a general message. So again, only take what resonates. I can't stress that enough. For some of you, it is coming forward with the truth about a potential third-party situation that has been cut off, but this person never came clean and told you about it. That might be coming to the surface. So I don't think they're still with this person, but yeah, it's the type of thing like, so remember 3 months ago when I came home really late, and it's not for everyone, right? But again, you would know if this was your story, if you were kind of fishy about something, particularly with a Scorpio. I will say that. It's like they cut it off. They did the right thing, but they haven't professed the truth to you yet, Capricorn. That's for one. The other is for those who are looking to conceive and have been trying. Again, I'm not predicting this by any means. You would know if this was your story. Some of you did get pregnant but miscarried, and that's something like you have to come forward and tell your partner about. And I don't do fear-based readings. I'm not predicting that would have already happened, but it would have been a secret that someone is sitting on. And again, I don't think that's for most of you. What's coming through the most here, it is building upon a family, or again, the idea of starting a family, particularly like children. That's sort of what's coming through. And for the most part, hold on, I'm going to clarify this. Tell me about this Ace of Swords. What is the most prevalent message with this Ace of Swords? For a lot of you, I think it's going to be good news, but yeah, the Moon does talk about secrets and the Star, healing. Yeah, okay. And that's clarifying this important truth, this important potentially secret, or even an epiphany, something that needs to come up into the surface. It's a thought, right? Or a communication, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It's something that needs to come to the surface so you guys can heal from it and move on. Oh, okay. All right. So for those who found out they got pregnant and lost it, this may actually be a communication that you're pregnant again. And here's why I'm saying this. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it or gloss over anything. The Moon talks about kind of like darkness and secrets and illusions, things not being true. So if there was some sort of miscarriage or mishaps, or someone thought they were sterile or couldn't have children, the Star is the star of hope. It's like your North Star. It's what's guiding you. It's hopes and wishes and dreams into the future. This is a new chance, if that makes sense. So there may be something there. Something about the sun and the moon and the stars. It's my everything. That may have been like a, I feel like is that from literature? I feel like that's from Peter Pan. Doesn't she say it's Peter Pan is the sun and the moon and the stars? That might mean something to someone. That may have been something like someone professed to you in like a love letter or some sort of poetry, or that might be something you guys say to each other that is like this romantic thing. And that may be incorporated in the communication. When this person comes forward with a secret that they've been sitting on. The thing is, there's growth here. With the Empress, there's creation. She's literally shown pregnant. That's why all these metaphors of birth are coming up. So if it's not a literal birth, it could be giving birth to a creative project, or do you understand what I'm saying? The colors of the tree are starting to change and bloom, and like in Scorpio season, that's sort of when nature kind of goes to die, but then it gets rebirthed, it gets regenerated. It talks about seasonal change, about the changing up of cycles. So again, something that was maybe revealed to you in Sagittarius season may be contradicted in Capricorn season, or vice versa. Something that wasn't communicated previously, the truth is coming up and out in Capricorn season. Okay, let's throw a romance angel on your person. Sorry guys, this is gonna be a long video. Your message is a little bit confusing, I'm not gonna lie. What about Capricorn's person in regards to love? What do we need to know about Capricorn's person? This feels very feminine to me, and I'm not saying it has to be, but yeah, overall, it's very interesting. What do we need to know about Capricorn's person? Trust. Yeah. This situation is calling for you to have faith. And interesting that the Hierophant is coming up too. A spiritual leader, a leader in faith, right? This person may have to earn back your trust if they have kept a really heavy secret from you. Again, I don't want to harp on this, but if there was third-party involvement in some situation and they finally come clean, again, for most of you, I think this person has been cut out of the picture, if that makes sense. But yeah, if somebody's coming forward with a secret, they're going to have to earn back your trust, and that might be quite difficult. The other message for those not relating to the third party who are in committed marriages or vice versa, singles, right? Um, like in the upcoming weeks or days or months or whatever, those who are more along the lines of like something about pregnancy, again, hope and faith that the seed actually took, that the seed could actually grow. Again, like the seed to the tree, finding out that you are able to bear children or whatever that metaphor is to you. Trust that the universe is looking out for you, right? Cupid's right there, the little love angel. Cupid, universe, God, spirit, whatever you believe in. Something is being orchestrated behind the scenes. So even if you don't have clarity right now, even if you don't understand everything right now, even if you still have a lot of questions, even after making some sort of difficult emotional choice, trust that things are going to work out the way that they are supposed to. And I mean, the idea of Cupid having his arrows, again, something about Sagittarius here is important. I don't know if there's a Sagittarius in your life that is a key player or something very significant took place in Sagittarius season. I do think that thing about a promotion or taking some sort of risk or becoming, you know, the leader of the pack. I love that song. Becoming the leader of the pack, something about that was important in Sagittarius season. It's funny, I'm getting this metaphor of like you're speaking to the group, you're speaking to the crowd, but you're doing all the talking. And this sounds so like snappy and sassy, but like it's time for you to start listening, Capricorn. And the reason I'm saying that is because of this. Somebody is fearful to come and express something to you, and that's probably why the moon is showing up. This can sometimes be a card of fear and anxiety. Fear of the unknown, walking down that shadowy path and not really being able to see. There's a lack of clarity here. There's a lack of communication. Somebody is sitting on something very important that they need to profess to you. And you know what? For some of you, maybe it's, I love you, let's get married, or I want to be with you. Like, it doesn't have to be bad. Again, there's so many messages coming through here. It's a little bit, it's a little bit congested for me to give you a clear and direct, this is what it's saying. But I threw out a lot of scenarios. So overall, if you're kind of lost and in the dark, if you've been doing a lot of talking or think you know what's up, maybe check in with your partner, because I think they have something on their mind or something important to say. All right, so what is going on between the two of you? We have the Eight of Wands showing up. So yeah, another card of Sagittarius. It's like, it's sort of symbolic of the arrows that he shoots off from his bow, right? Sagittarius being the archer of the zodiac. Again, in Sagittarius season, it's all about action, motivation, movement forward, inspiration, also having fun, right? The Eight of Wands, though, talks about rapid and swift communication. So that is what needs to happen between you guys. And then the Four of Pentacles. Someone has been dodging something or deflecting something. It's like back and forth, but you never get to the heart of the matter. And I have to be honest, Capricorn, I feel like I've said that to you before. I think that's a message that it's like, what this relationship struggles with the most is communication back and forth that really sticks the landing. Sometimes it feels like you're talking at a brick wall and like your words are wasted, like your person just isn't getting it. This is like opening up the channels of communication, absolutely, with the Hierophant, and maybe a lot of things that need to be communicated with the Seven. Your person is fearful to communicate with you because they don't want to rock the boat. Any four in tarot talks about the safety zone, the comfort zone. We think of the four corners of a house. It's nice and steady. It's solid, right? But to leave the four, to go to the five, ultimately, it's going to be, the fives are agents of change and chaos, right? So the four, no matter how comfortable and steady it is, there's no growth here. There's no change. Once you establish or accomplish the four, linger in that energy. Take a break. Take a rest. What I'm getting is, you guys have been taking a break or a rest. Maybe you're not together anymore. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe you haven't been together and you've been separated, and this person is like, they're my sun and my moon and my star, and they're the future mother of my children, and I just need to, sack up and say it. I don't know why I said it like that. But do you know what I mean? Like, maybe this death is representing you guys cutting off the relationship, and this whole thing is like, hey, like, let's stir up the pot, let's mix things up again. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit crazy to figure it out, but let's communicate. Let's move forward and try and figure this out, right? It literally looks like some sort of like an electronic video game, like an old retro one, like Pong or like Simon or something like that. It's like, let's try and figure out this game together. Because maybe that's what it's felt like. It's felt like you guys have been playing games with each other. That's not for everyone, but like, there is an element of like, kind of like drama to this. I'm not sensing this has been like a smooth sailing relationship. So yeah, this is about getting on the same page and ultimately getting out of the comfort zone, which, to be honest, I don't think your person is comfortable at all. I think they have something they need to say, but by coming forward and saying it, they risk losing you, or they risk rocking the boat. Maybe this whole emotional risk, this 7 of Cups, maybe this is their energy as well. I mean, maybe you guys are mirrored souls. Maybe you guys are twin flames. Maybe you're going through very similar paths. But again, it's like what falls short is your ability to communicate effectively back and forth. And isn't that what this is about? One cup passing to the next. And I mean, we know water, right? Cups and tarot, it's love. The 2 of Cups, back and forth. Being guided, again, by angels, right? Archangel Michael. Being guided by a higher power. Having hope and faith that you're meant to go down this journey. You're meant to go down this spiritual path. But what's going to get you there faster, what's going to, I don't know, something, I just heard show me the money. I think that's a metaphor for like, what do you mean? Spit it out. What's going to reveal answers to you faster is communicating. Coming out from the darkness. Because yeah, either you left your person in the dark, how I was saying they feel iced out or whatever, you may have cut it off with them, Capricorn. This does kind of feel like you telling them off in a sense, like, I'm done, goodbye, whatever. Again, not for all of you, but this person is trying to come out of the dark and profess something to you, but all they have is like this little light that's guiding them. It's their North Star, but like, I'm ready to see some sunshine with you guys. Let's throw some romance angels on this. So what is between Capricorn and their person? You guys need to break out of the comfort zone. And I use that term lightly. Break out of the comfort zone, the status quo. That's what I'm going to say with this. Because, again, your person doesn't seem comfortable, but whatever is currently going on, if you want any change or anything to move, any progress forward, be it together or individually, someone's got to move forward. Someone's got to move and take action and potentially communicate. What is between Capricorn and their person, please, for romance angel cards? With clarity and precision, give me a message for Capricorn and their person. Romantically, where does Capricorn currently stand with their person? December into January, where does Capricorn stand with their person? All right. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Yeah, there is a financial imbalance in how much you guys earn. And if it's not that, it's how much time work is taking away from this partnership. You may work opposite schedules, or you come home at night and you just have like no energy, and so like your sex life could be suffering. It could be something like that. And there is something about power going to your head, especially if you're kicking ass at work. You may come home and there's like a chip on your shoulder or some sort of ego, and it could go vice versa, right? But yeah, there's a need to be vulnerable with each other and speak your truth. Anything else about Capricorn and their person? Romance angels. December into January for Capricorn and their person. They're kind of sticking. I don't know what wants to come out. For Capricorn and their person. And that's sort of what it feels like. There's a lot of question marks here for me. I can't wholly say yes or no is this relationship going to thrive and grow. I definitely think your person, if they're showing up as the Empress, they want that. They do. But then I'm questioning if you do, Capricorn. Or maybe you have eyes for a Sagittarius. All right, I'm going to ask one more time. For Capricorn, December into January, their person, we'll take that one. Getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. I'm going to change that. As you reveal your innermost secrets to each other, your bond deepens. I'm amazed we haven't seen the High Priestess show up. Yeah, 8 of Pentacles. This is saying to me this relationship is going to take a lot of work and some commitments. You have the Hierophant twice. This is the same card. Again, I'm not saying this across the board, but if the red flags are there, if you're kind of sniffing out that somebody may have had some extracurricular activities going on, again, I would open the door for conversation on that, because what's going to take work is getting someone to commit. What's going to take work is getting someone to put a ring on it, right? If it doesn't have to do with cheating and eliminating a two-person situation, which it might, a third-party situation, I should say, choosing one or the other. It may have to do with getting this person to commit long-term. Do you or don't you want to build a family? Do you or don't you want to have children? It could be something like that. It's going to take work, Eight of Pentacles. But it doesn't have to be difficult work. I want to be careful how I phrase this. Typically, the Eight of Pentacles is the apprenticeship. It's the artisan card. It's working very hard at a skill or at a job that we actually enjoy, right? So that's what this is saying. It wouldn't be impossible, but again, so much earth energy. Lots of like Taurus and earth, like pentacle energy in this spread. The Empress, again. So many cards of Taurus. Some of you may have strong Taurus in your chart. Anyway, side note. With all this earth energy, it's going to take hard work and time to get this up and off the ground. But is there potential for happiness? Absolutely. With the love angel Michael showing up, absolutely there is. Patience. Live in the moment now, and something about focusing on fixing the errors or the discrepancies or the difficulties now. Focus on the now, and with that, release the past, right? If you want to make it work with this person and they come forward with a heavy truth, if you're going to offer them forgiveness, which is why Page of Cups is coming up, bottom of your deck, if you're going to offer them forgiveness or vice versa, an apology, it needs to be an authentic one. It's not going to be something that you hold over their head later in the future. Well, remember that one time you told me how you cheated and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you don't have to accept this apology. You don't have to extend an apology. You don't have to grant them forgiveness. But if you do, again, it needs to be authentic. It needs to be the real deal, or again, this relationship will crumble. Because as it is, there are a lot of factors that it's complicated. It's like trying to figure out like an IQ game, right? It's you don't understand why they're not getting the message or why they're not responding. There's crossed lines of communication, right? That's what this is. Interesting. Just have to say, side note, what a badass card. She's a little mermaid. I love it. I love it. But yeah, innocent love. The Page of Cups are frequently depicted as children. So a water sign, if somebody has a water sign child, it doesn't have to be. Pages are messengers though. So this is saying an innocent message of communication that comes from the heart space. That's sort of what's going to sort of fix these little obstacles that are standing in the path. All right, so last but not least, your advice or guidance. The Father of Wands, the King of Communication. This is the King of Wands in this deck, right? The King of Communication, standing in your truth, protecting yourself, protecting your truth, but also the idea of a snake being a little bit venomous. There's multiple ways I could go with that. Be careful how you approach this communication. Again, it needs to come from a very pure, innocent place. Again, you don't want to fight fire with fire, and maybe that's what this is. You have Sagittarius and Leo energy here. Fighting fire with fire is not going to get this thing to grow. It's going to set it on fire, right? You're going to set the tree on fire. Proceed with caution. Absolutely stand in your truth. Stick to your guns, but do it in a way that is gentle. As I was saying, this person has like very divine feminine energy. It's almost like approach this conversation as if you were talking to your mother. And maybe some of you are, and maybe that's why this is coming up. It's the motherhood card, right? Maybe some of you have a lot of like emotional, like mental baggage with a mother figure, and it's like you finally need to come forth and say that thing that you've always needed to say. You know, it could be something like that. And again, you're worried about the consequences of how it's going to land. Is this the right decision to speak my truth and say something? Because again, one of you or both of you doesn't want to rock the boat. But as it is, it's not great. It can never grow from where it currently is unless one of you takes a risk to communicate. All right, so advice or guidance, we have Father of Wands, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries energy. Specifically, it's typically Leo. Two of Pentacles is the underlying energy. So same card twice. That difficult decision of choice. Do I or don't I? This one or that one? Left or right? Single or together? Potentially this partnership or that partnership, right? Stand firm in your convictions. When you, again, how I was saying, when you deliver a message or make a choice, do it with power. Do it with authority. Don't have this like wishy-washy, I don't know. authoritative decisions. Or I don't even know if that's the right way of saying it, but yeah, making decisions with authority, but you don't have to be, you can be a benevolent ruler, right? Again, sweet, kind offerings, but they still hold importance. They still hold truth. They're still restoring justice in the relationship, right? And yeah, again, it's this is your reading, Capricorn, so I'm interested if this is more going to relate to cross watchers, but there is an element of sneaking around here, right? She has to be home in time before her ball, or before her coach turns into a pumpkin, before her dress turns to shreds, right? It's like this very great Cinderella metaphor, but there is this idea of sneaking off from the king. Sneaking off from, again, if we're sticking with the Cinderella metaphor, you know, the queen who waits at home, right? The evil stepmother. There's the evil stepmother. You're saying something about a mother, right? Again, take only what resonates, but there's definitely some metaphors here. There's an element of sneaking off to go have fun, but then this is who you come back home to. And so again, whichever player you are, I am just going to say there is an indication that there's side stuff going on. And maybe it's not cheating, maybe it's not a third party, but maybe it's like you don't enjoy being home with this person, so you'd rather spend a 12-hour day at the office. And if that's the case, again, that to me is a red flag that something needs to be, some issue needs to be raised or brought up in this relationship. Why? The reason why you're seeking excitement and fun outside of this dynamic, outside of this relationship, why you feel you have to run away or sneak off or be secretive, right? We talked about secrets here. Again, I don't know exactly which player you are in this, Capricorn, but this is all circling back to the same messages. It's coming clean. The King of Wands is a communicator, coming clean about side activity, coming clean about this feelings of wanting to escape, and also just in a lightheartedness, dreaming of a better life. Again, the Cinderella story, right? Rags to riches. Something about this needs, like, these two are on opposite playing fields. I'm just getting that. There's this very serious, dark, ready to pounce, like dynamic here. Father of Wands, double masculine. This feels very feminine. It's one of your cards. Again, earth energy. It's a feminine element, and just the depiction of it alone. Masculine, feminine, dark, light. Even if you're a same-sex couple, these two need to get on the same page. They're so opposite. The King of Career, right? And this is someone who, they're the Two of Pentacles. Like, they're just starting off. Again, power struggles, and also a differing in like money or financial situation. Even this speaks to me about temptation, like the seductress. Ugh, yeah, a little bit of third-party shit is coming through. I just gotta say it if it's here. All right, so last but not least, we're going to throw one of these on your advice or guidance. We're going to wrap up. Oh my God, this has been such a long video. I'm sorry, guys. For Capricorn, advice or guidance. If you're having fun by yourself, it's time to start including your partner in that fun. And if they're not a fun person to hang around with, then maybe you need to sever it. If they're not the person that you want to build a family with or be long-term with, and you're not having fun, right? That would be a reason to cut it. Oh, do you know what this is too? Again, okay, for the lighthearted, more story along the lines of pregnancy, the idea of I'm late, I'm gonna be late home, or I'm gonna be late to the ball, being late on like your period, right? Missing a period, finding out that you're pregnant, that's another thing. So again, this could just be the master communicator. Something about, again, how it, like the coils, cycles, eggs, fertility. Your cycle might be late, and you may be finding out that you're pregnant. That's for the more lighthearted. Because I know some of my Capricorns out there are like, they're not cheating on me. Like, I don't think they are. They're not. If you don't think that they are, it's not your story. So maybe the pregnancy metaphor is going to make more sense to you, or maybe not as well, right? It can't be your story every time. Celebration. All right, I like that. Let's end this on a positive note, right? There is reason to celebrate and come together, right? Bringing cups together. Joy, love, harmony, peace, right? This is a relationship that is still trying to be healed. It's trying to be mended. That's why the Star card is here. And again, if it doesn't have to do with the two of you, healing from disappointing or difficult news that you couldn't get pregnant, again, for a lot of you, there might be news that, it's happening. There might be reason to celebrate for a lot of you. And I will say in Capricorn season, I don't think it's going to happen in Sagittarius season. So in the new year, probably in 2020. Last but not least, let's come through with some zodiac signs. What zodiac signs want to present themselves in this? Again, major transformation. Transformation in the death card, but also transformation of the body. For those, again, expecting mothers or, I don't know, those athletes, someone who's running a marathon. Major transformation and becoming something that you didn't anticipate, or vice versa. Seeing elements or qualities come out of your person that you didn't anticipate, and for the better. This relationship is very capable of transformation, but you both are going to have to put in a lot of work and a lot of effort. That's what we started off with, right? That 8 of Pentacles. We were saying it's not going to be easy, but parts of it you're going to enjoy, right? It's not all bad. All right, we'll take that. Elements that are signs that want to come out. Well, you Capricorn, that makes sense. Leo wanted to come out. That was, there was a lot of Leo energy. Taurus, there was a ton of Taurus energy. Cancer, we said that earlier. Pisces, there was a little bit of that with the moon. And Scorpio with the death card, absolutely. All right, Capricorn, that was a long-ass reading. I'm sorry, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what resonates, and I will see you very soon for more tarot readings. Bye!